Hello, this is Doug Sharp, host of the National Leadership Briefing, and it is a quick message for you today. We have the ballots in everyone's hands now coming out of the Conservative Party of Canada. As you know, this has been an opportunity for us to exercise our combined influence within a political party and a process that's going to identify the leader of that party. We want to make sure that we do it right. So what I'm hearing back from CPC HQ is that there's a lot of folks that are sending their ballots in, and many of them are having challenges with the way that they're handling their ballots, and they're making some mistakes, which is in fact spoiling their ballots. That means they count for nothing. So let me just go through it really quickly here. When you get this envelope in the mail, it says ballot enclosed right on the front. First of all, that is your ballot. Do not think that that's just candidate communication and perhaps treat it like that. There's a priority for you to deal with this right away, and you need to open it up and you need to pull the contents out of this envelope. Now, what is in the envelope is divided into 4 parts. We have numbers on each of the parts as well. They're all numbers. Like you've got this number on the corner, that's number 1. You've got another envelope that's got a number 2 on it there. And then you've got another piece, the small number 3 here. And then finally, you've got this envelope here as well that has a 4 on it. So make sure you have, first off, 4 parts inside of the envelope that you receive as part of your ballot. Now, we're going to go through each of these things real carefully because, again, we just don't want to make any mistakes. There's a voting checklist on the piece of paper that says number 3. So pick up your number 3 piece of paper here. It's a voting checklist on it here. And if you look at the very first item on the voting checklist, it says complete the ballot and insert it into the ballot secrecy envelope, ensuring that the writing number shows through the window. So, okay, so you take your ballot. This is your ballot here. Now I've got mine folded up because mine's filled out, and I'm not going to show you who I voted for because I don't want to lead you down that path. I just want to lead you down the ballot handling path right now. So this is the piece of paper they're referring to. That number here, that's your riding number. That indicates what your riding is. And when you put it in this envelope here, you can see there's a little window there on the corner right there. All right. So this number, you have to be able to see that number through that window there. So I'm going to show you what I mean by that. We're going to take this envelope here and we're going to open it up and we're going to put the thing in here. So first of all, you want to make sure that the number is visible through here. Okay. Now that is, of course, after you filled it out. You have to actually follow directions on the ballot itself and fill out the ballot correctly. Now, once that is in the envelope though, and you have it, then you seal this envelope and this becomes a single piece of paper that you need to hold on to because we're going to put it with other information on the checklist ahead here. Okay, now the number 2, if you look at it, is you have to sign and detach the declaration form. Now on the voter checklist here, this piece on the bottom is called the voter declaration form. So what I've done is I've signed that on the bottom and I'm just pulling that off there. Now that's off of the voter checklist, but I'm gonna hold on to this because I wanna make sure that I continue to use the checklist. Now I've got this plus the ballot that I had here, and I'm gonna put those together, okay? So now I've got 2 pieces of paper together, or 2 items together. Now I go to the next one. It says photocopy 1 or more pieces of identification that provide my photo, name, and address. And then there's some additional details on the back of this checklist that you can double check to make sure. So what I did was I actually did 2 pieces of identification with my address, with my photo. That's really, really clear. And then I also included my Conservative Party membership card. I mean, that's not really necessary, but I just thought I'd throw it all together. So I've got a complete thing. And now I've got to fold that up and put that with my stack of paper that I'm preparing. So I've now got my identification, I've got my declaration form, and I've got my ballot secrecy, this envelope here with my ballot in it sealed. So I've got those 3 pieces of paper, and then it says, insert all of those 3 things into this, which is identified number 4. You can see that right there. That's a number 4 right there. So now I'm going to take this whole package here and I'm going to put it inside of what I'm going to be mailing off to the party. Okay, now you might say, Doug, you're really going slow through this, and I got this, and it's really simple, but there are hundreds of ballots every day that are being spoiled because people are not handling these things properly. Perhaps you're not sealing your ballot envelope. Perhaps you're not signing your declaration form and including it on top. Don't put the declaration form inside of the ballot. Like I say, it just goes in individual. So there's ballot, declaration form, and identification all go into envelope that you send off to the party. And you've got to do that right away. I mean, you're out of time. So I wanted to just make sure that we went through that. I'm also going to include in the bottom of this video, I'm going to include a video that came from the party itself that kind of explains it from their perspective. So have a look at that as well, but please be very careful because this is going to be a tight race. I mean, every indication is that there's going to be a very, very small difference between several of these candidates in the way of voters and the support that they've got. So every vote counts. We want to make sure that yours counts and make sure your ballot isn't spoiled. So I hope that was helpful today. Thanks so much for your time, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the Midweek Touchpoint next week and the National Leadership Briefing coming up. Bye for now.